We were looking for a way to increase activity, specifically on days when the kids can't go outside. Living in Minnesota, that's always challenging, and we don't have gym space for them to get physical activity on those days, as well as an idea for the teachers to use in their classrooms when the kids just need an activity break.
I've talked with the kids a lot about how we acquired the equipment that we've gotten, what the SHIP grant is. I let them know how much the equipment costs and that they know that they need to take care of it, that this is their stuff, that it's up to them to take care of it because we don't have the money or the resources to replace a lot of it.
Well, there's these exercises and a number. You roll the exercise and that's the exercise you do and that's how many you do of them.
Do you think that's fun?
Yeah.
First graders are enthusiastic about everything, so everything new is exciting and they like all of it. And they're really excited about the cooperative skis. They really like those, probably the best.
We also have some workout videos that are 5-minute clips of some workout videos that can be just done right in the classroom, and the kids really, really enjoy them. Especially the older kids. The activity spots are more a little bit younger based, and the older kids, it takes a little more coordination.
We talk about how being active is a healthy lifestyle, and it's something that we need to do whether we're 8 or whether we're 40 or 50 or 60. You know, we need to be active in order to be healthy.
The first time I heard about the WITFIT balls was actually, and the SHIP grant in general, was actually at the regional school nurses meeting that we have. I decided that, you know, I'd look into it, and basically a lot of the teachers were very, happy with the WITFIT balls.
I spend a lot less time redirecting the kids than I did at the beginning of the school year. I created just a spreadsheet for an assessment and just kept track of how many times I was redirecting the kids, how many were off task and things like that. And I would say it's probably a fourth of what it was when the kids were on the chairs. And they love to bounce. These are first graders and they're bouncy themselves, so they really like to bounce on the balls.
You can sit on them and bounce.
And can you bounce as much as you want to?
No, you can only bounce a little bit. We have to sit up straighter and we can bounce on them and we can do exercises on them.
These grade levels where, it's important to get those first basic steps of learning math and reading and that kind of thing. I wanted to start it with them. But a lot of the other teachers were like, when do we get ours? We really want them. And I basically had to tell them, they had to talk to the superintendent about funding for, if they could use their funds to get, even the 6th grade teacher wanted just 6 of them. I have 6 that just won't sit still. So I know the interest is out there and I know that the teachers have heard about it before. It's just being able to fund them basically.
Well, SHIP, the Statewide Health Improvement Program, was funded by the Minnesota Department of Health as part of their 2008 Health Reform Package, or law. SHIP's main goals are to reduce tobacco use and exposure, to increase physical activity, and increase healthy eating, as a way to not only help individuals be healthier, but all of Minnesota be healthier as part of a statewide effort. Morris and Todd-Wadena historically have been part of a community health board, and that just means that we have smaller populations, so in order to take on grants like the SHIP grant, we form a coalition. We funded through our SHIP grant all 14 school districts that we have in our 3 counties, as well as 3 parochial schools. That's been able to really have a significant impact because we didn't just focus on 1 or 2 schools. We really wanted this to be an opportunity for all schools to engage in how to increase physical activity, nutrition.
We provided each school with a grant application. They submitted that grant and we looked at it with our community leadership team to see if they had a sustainable project that we thought could change their physical activity or nutrition in a positive manner.
We knew that schools need to be vested in this project in order to make sure it works, and we knew that schools had ideas, that they wanted to expand or things they wanted to do but just needed the funding to do that. So the mini grant application really gave them a really structured way to look at, okay, here are the projects that SHIP is really going to promote and allow, and how can they do a project that's really going to work with their school. We didn't want to tell schools, okay, everyone should have a school garden, everyone should do this walking challenge, because each school is so different. So we wanted schools to come to us and say, here's what we want to do, and using mini grants is a way for the schools to own it, to own their project.
It gave them the freedom to choose what was the best fit in their schools. They had great ideas. Teachers, administrators, supervisors, they have these great ideas. They just need that seed money to get started.
In my previous job, I was an education consultant for 20 school districts in Northwest Minnesota. And while I was working there, my job was to research programs that worked best for children. SMART was one of those programs. So when I became superintendent, I wanted to bring that program to the children of Monaga. SMART is about developing a child's physiological and neurological readiness skills for learning. And it really is about developing their fine and large motor skills, their perception skills, and their eye-hand coordination. The first thing we did was send our teachers to training so that they could understand the philosophy around it. And we were able through SHIP to send our two physical education teachers that teach kindergarten and first grade. Once they learned the philosophy and once they had the training, they came back so excited and wanted to integrate it immediately and put it all together. So our teachers were the teacher leaders in this whole project.
Physical activity can really enhance brain activity and brain, you know. When I first learned of the workshop, I thought, wow, you know, simple things that we do in physical education can make it easier for math classes. It'll help in reading and things like that. So it was quite an eye-opening, enlightening to me. So.
My favorite thing in fire, I like to do the pencil because you can roll like a pencil.
And when we did our workshop, you know, we were sitting in a chair and they'd have us stand up and do just a little instant activity and get some movement. And it's a calming thing. And if teachers understand that, you know, when things are getting a little bit chaotic, you just get them to move a little bit, it will be easier.
Teachers have said that they notice a difference in students when they come back. They're calmer on days that they've been doing SMART. So it does make a difference. Teachers have seen a difference.
Well, the walking challenge started this fall when we received the SHIP grant. They loved it. They wanted to get in there and be active, and it gave them a time to be able to talk with each other. When we initially started it, we had them just walking, and they were walking around the outside perimeter of the gym. But as time went on, you could tell that, you know, that started to get old. They wanted something else, so we started implementing the jump ropes, where we do 9 jump ropes in the middle, and when they are walking, then I pick kids that are walking and doing their job to come in and jump rope and get active as well.
I very much appreciate the way they're able to enter the classroom now and be ready to learn. Before, our day would start at 8, and with our breakfast program, some kids would have breakfast, some wouldn't, some would be in the room, some would be gone, and it felt more disjointed. Now the walking challenge has really dovetailed well with that, in that it's more of a unified morning. The kids are kind of all doing the same things. There's still not all of them that eat breakfast, but they all go for a walking challenge, and they look forward to that.
SHIP has definitely been an important part of getting the walking challenge started. We, you know, it's always been in the back of my mind because I was at a school that had it before. We use some of our funds for paras that are in there and funding for them to be able to pay for them to be in there. That's our main thing, and then we do hand out stickers for the walking challenge that we've purchased as well that we'll give to each of the students.
Well, we get to catch up when we get to talk with our friends, and it kind of just gets us ready for the day.
So you like it. How about your sisters? Do they like it too? Yeah, they usually walk with us, don't they? Mm-hmm.
we've also, you know, been announcing in our newsletters and our bulletins upcoming meals that are, you know, locally grown organic meals, so then the parents know when those meals come up, they can talk to their kids about it, tell them how important it is. You know, see people right here in our community that they see every day are the people that are harvesting this food, preparing it and getting it to us. And so it just gives them a better picture of the whole process.
I like the wild rice soup and the chicken the most. It's really healthy and it's just really good. I just really like it.
Without some sort of startup funding, I don't think it would be possible. You know, you needed just the startup funding to get those tools in the kitchen, and, you know, meet with dietitians, get some training on how to incorporate these things in the menu and make them better. And that was all part of the grant. And that's what the grant gave us, is a way to get our foot in the door and get going.
One of the staff members here has a high tunnel, so he's actually growing some of the vegetables for us. So yeah, that's part of the reason we got involved, and just for, you know, to change our menus and get more nutrition. We bought knives, cutting boards, a food processor, a knife sharpener, extra storage containers. And we are working with a dietitian now, so she's helping us find out what is healthier. It's just been educational for me also, because I think the kids are actually excited and willing to do this.
These things being added to the menu, the kids like them, the cook kind of figures out how to work them into the menu, and then all of a sudden they just become regular things. So, you know, we can have a partnership with a producer who gives us chickens, because we can incorporate chickens into a lot of things, and then all of a sudden they know every month we're ordering a certain amount. You know, spending a little extra to get some of these foods that I think are better for the students, better for our menu, much more nutritious, you know, help the local farmers in the community, but it costs a little bit more. Parents definitely want. I wouldn't say there's one parent who would say, oh, I got to spend an extra quarter for lunches, but they see what they're getting, you know, and they're seeing all these nutritious options on the menu. They can be confident that they can send their kid to school and they're going to have a nutritious meal.
Our schools are really a big part of each community in a rural area, and so our schools really do have the potential to impact a large number of students, parents, community members through gardens, through different activities that they're doing. And so it's been really crucial that we get the engagement of all our schools involved, because that's really where we're able to reach the most parents, students, community members.
With teaching that at school, the children then can bring that home to their families, and they're excited about it. They can bring it to their parents and say, hey, I tried this fruit or vegetable at school today. And that impacts the parents trying maybe new fruits and vegetables that they have not tried before, or their brothers and sisters.
We should see in the coming years really a significant impact on the number of students we're reaching through these grants, as more and more kids are involved each year, and more parents and community members get involved as the schools expand these projects. These funds, the mini grant funds to the schools, have really been able to start or expand a project that probably wouldn't have gotten off the ground without CHIP funds, and that these projects are not something that are just started this year and maybe continued a year from now, but what the school really sees is the impact it's having on students, that they're excited about eating healthier foods, that they're being more active, and that's having an impact not only on, you know, their activity level, but on their behavior and on their test scores, as, you know, we've seen in the literature that that's possible. So that our goal then is to make sure that these projects continue, and that administrators, teachers see really the benefit and why it's important that, yes, students need to be focused on academics, but having physical activity and having healthy lunch and snacks is really what helps them to achieve. I think the schools have really seen it as an opportunity that only really comes around once in a lifetime.
I think our kids really enjoyed not only the gardening piece and learning about the physical activity that comes with that and what kind of a hobby that can be, but they also enjoyed the nutritional side of it, to learn that not only the work they're putting into it could impact their physical health, but also that the foods they were eating could impact their mental health as well. So I think they enjoyed putting those two pieces together.
We went out every day, we did the work, and it was food from our own source pretty much, kind of. It was really fun.
Well, the kids learned a lot from their nutrition classes, and they liked trying all the new foods, and some of them were kind of hesitant at first, but then they saw everybody else was trying it, so they liked learning about all the new foods and trying them. And
I do think a lot of the families did get involved, just with the children going home and saying, you know, we did this in our garden, we had, you know, this for snack. A lot of kids, I heard moms come in saying, yeah, they told us that we shouldn't have this in the cupboard anymore because it wasn't healthy.
We would go out and look at how the vegetables were doing, and then we would go get water and water them, and we'd pick out the weeds and kind of loosen up the dirt around the vegetables. We measured them every day to see if they got any bigger. My grandma has a garden in her yard, and I help with that sometimes.
I feel like the students now have an awareness of different vegetables that are out there and ways that they can take that and do those things on their home as far as gardening goes, and what those vegetables can do for their health, and also I think they learned some different foods that they could do with those vegetables outside of just eating them on their own. I think you're starting to see the students now, when we offer different vegetables during the noon hour, you're starting to see them pick those vegetables up more frequently than maybe you have in the past, so I think that general awareness has been increased. I just think the biggest thing is that the students taking ownership and pride in what they do, and how that leads to them wanting to do that for themselves, even if this project isn't available to them, or if they're on their own at home making a healthy snack or wanting to start their own garden at home. It just puts ownership on them to want to do those things.
You know, the SHIP grant, number one, has allowed us to have that extra resource to actually dig into a project that, you know, traditionally probably wouldn't get off the ground at all. You know, the way I see the SHIP grant influence in the direction of our high school will be twofold. First off, we're making more of a conscientious aware of trying to keep things local. You know, in this type of economy, we have local farmers and stuff that are willing to help us out. But also, it's a way to educate our kids about wellness, to educate them about what the food is going in.
Well, Carrie, the agriculture teacher here at Staples Motley High School, and I thought it would be a great project for us to cooperate on so that his students could grow the vegetables, and then my students would get the produce and we could use them in our family and consumer science classes and our foods classes.
We've made a lot of different dishes that have the vegetables in there, and we've made a tomato basil sauce for spaghetti with the tomatoes that they've grown. I've never tried rutabagas or kohlrabi before, so that was different and new.
And what did you think of them?
I liked them.
I've talked to my mom about it some, and we decided that we'd do some healthier stuff and eat more vegetables and fruits instead of junk food.
Originally, we started working on a project that I called From Plant to Planter to Plate. And it was a project that we kind of dreamed up, or I kind of dreamed up. And so we started working on that. And what we did is basically we started growing plants out here in the greenhouse. And with those plants, we had basically two objectives. We were going to put them in the planters here at school, or at the in the city, and then secondly, we were going to take some of those and put them on the plates of people that maybe were clients at the local food shelf, that type of thing. So that was kind of our intent, how this all got started, and then when the SHIP grant came along, it really fit well. It was just an opportunity to expand that and look at how could we do more with that, the farm to school concept.
The most satisfying part of the project for me was that I was able to use so many fresh produce with the students, and we were able to try so many more recipes this year than we ever have.
The SHIP grant has been able, our staff, to be able to run out and do some test plots to see exactly, you know, how we can fine tune this as we go around. But really what it's done is really give us the foundation to hopefully take it and develop a school around the idea of being able to do things locally, do the hands-on, get the kids involved, do the individual research, but at the end to see the benefits of it.